on this episode of Open Homes. A house that blurs the line between art and architecture.
A lot of people don't realise that architects are really artists.
James gets a tour of this stunning coastal home. Plus, Dave Franklin gives us a schooling in classical garden design. And at the climax of the show, a modern twist on the classic beach shack.
So if you see that, you just go, we're home now.
Come with us as we step inside.
Welcome to a fresh new series of Open Homes.
Now, we know it's been a challenging year for everyone. Thankfully, some pretty incredible builders and architects have come through to deliver some really special homes. Some have to be seen to be believed.
So get ready to be inspired. Welcome to Open Homes.
Well, when you think of Toorak, you think tradition and prestige. You wouldn't necessarily think you're going to see a home that's going to break any kind of boundaries. But this next house is an absolute masterpiece. Billy, how are you?
Hi, Bessie. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too. When I knew that I was seeing you today, I knew that I wasn't going to see a normal house. I wasn't wrong.
You won't.
So I couldn't help but notice Jarb House.
Yeah, Jarb House.
Yep.
It's actually the initials of our family, Georgia,
Yes.
Alexia, Rosalba, Billy, Art House.
I can tell this is an extension of you guys and your family.
Yes, it's definitely an extension of us and all
Yep.
our ideas and aspirations for 14 years since we
Yeah.
had our first child. The house is really about reconnecting art and architecture as one discipline. So it's in the 21st century, we consider these things as separate things. A lot of people don't realise that architects are really artists, and the whole house is really a play on that idea, but also incorporating the love of architecture and art that I have into one thing in the family home. This house is a Neo-Baroque home, so we took the principles of Baroque architecture and we translated them in a contemporary language. So we've tried to incorporate some of these ideas, and not in a literal way, but in a contemporary way, into the house.
Yeah.
So what you'll see in the house with this beautiful, ostentatious, big staircase facade and this big porthole is really what people were doing 500 years ago, but we're doing it today in a more contemporary way. So Baroque was the period that appealed to me most because it fused all the arts, sculpture, painting, all of it was sort of captured in the architecture, and also broke a lot of the rules. So all the symmetry that you find in Renaissance architecture was basically removed in Baroque, and they broke all the rules, and that was really interesting to me. And the fact that it incorporated and embraced all of the arts as one discipline was something very interesting. So this is what we're trying to do here.
What is the mural on the facade?
So the mural is actually 13 murals done by this amazing artist called PichiAvo.
Oh, yes.
And they're from Spain, and we saw their work about 4 years ago for another project that we're working on. And I love the fact that they're painting essentially Greek gods from 2,000 years ago in graffiti. And the murals are done in London, in Spain, in New York. And we contacted them and we were able to get the rights to use the work, and we've put it all around the facade. So it sort of goes hand in hand with the Baroque theme. So it's basically Digi Glass, which is laminated glass with a film inside, and it has the artwork in there, and you can see it from the inside and the outside.
As I was walking in today, I nearly fell over, to be honest. One, because I was gobsmacked. This house is outstanding. But I was also trying to read the poetry that you've even got from the get-go of the house on the path.
The house has got a lot of the art that I've been collecting over the years and the art that I've done myself. I do a lot of poetry, I do a lot of sculpture, photography, and some of the other pieces are basically commissions that I've done from people from all around the world.
Billy, you've absolutely just pulled out all the stops. This is amazing. I love that theatre room downstairs. It's so refreshing, the colour.
It's a good space to sort of have a completely different experience, and also soundproof. Kids can go down there, we can go down there and experience something else other than being in the general house.
This is not a normal house that you just go and have a look at. You experience this house, don't you?
That's the idea. we try and make everything sensory and have a different experience in different rooms.
And also too, can't go past the little poker table on the corner.
Poker table, yes. We've been playing poker for 23 years with my friends, and that's
awesome.
purposely built for that.
Again, just you've made a house for you and your family.
Absolutely.
Such a representation of everything that you are.
Yes, absolutely.
So talk me through that great little guest bedroom that's tucked away on the side there.
So we are a family of four.
Yep.
We have a 4-bedroom home, but we don't need a spare bedroom. But my father-in-law built this house with me, so it's really, when he comes and stays, which he hasn't done yet, to go in that room.
Oh, tell me about that process of building the house for your father-in-law.
It was great, actually. He was the first one here and the last one out, so we're still friends. No, but it was a good experience. It was a great experience. My father-in-law's built lots of houses with me, lots of projects with me over the years, so to build my own home was quite a privilege, actually.
I love the idea. The moment I saw it, I knew that he was on something different. Knowing Billy the way I know, he's always got something different coming up. And I think that was the most difficult part about building the home, was to slow Billy down with new ideas, because we'd get into it, 3/4 through it, and he'd come up with another idea. But in all fairness, it worked out well.
You know, when you're an architect and you design a house for yourself, you wear your heart on your sleeve.
Yes.
And if it gets a bit of attention and people see it, you know, it's there for warts and all. But as I said before, I think it's important to share ideas and just experience this with everyone else.
So we're in this space here, and again, I'm just absolutely floored. Going down that beautiful circular staircase really, again, has that circular theme, doesn't it?
Circular staircase was made out of 8mm rolled steel, and there's only 2 companies that I know of that can do it in Victoria. It was a mission to actually get the steel into the house. We had to crane it from the street into the house, and the guys who did it did a magnificent job. It was a very difficult detail to execute, actually.
What were the neighbours thinking?
We got a mixed review with the neighbours. By and large, most people love it and engage with the house. There's a few people who, you know, don't really respond well, but, you know, that's with everything.
It's really cool how many colours you can pick out of the natural timbers and the natural stones as well, isn't it?
And it's a challenge because, as you've seen in this house, there's lots of colour, and sometimes, you know, it can be a challenge because you have this collision of colour, but the idea is to pull strands and threads of all these materials that have a commonality about them.
Yep.
And then that's how you execute, I suppose, how you curate everything.
Yes.
So a lot of the furniture that you see through here, my wife has put together over a long period of time.
Yep.
And we're not allowed to touch or move.
That's okay. She's done a fantastic job, I'd be the same.
She has, yes. The white porcelain tiles that you see actually starts from the front of the house and goes all the way to the back.
Yeah.
That is actually the circulation space of the house, but ultimately is the art gallery. So the space that you use, that you go from one space to the other, is actually the art gallery itself. And that's where you'll find all the artwork through there. And the idea is that, again, it connects every room. So you'll start from the outside, you'll come into the house, and you'll end up outside again.
It's been such a great experience actually experiencing this house.
Thank you for coming. You're welcome anytime.
Yeah, thank you. What are the plans? Where are you going after this one?
Well, my wife said to me that we're never doing this again, so I don't think we've got plans to do anything else after this. So I think we're here for a while.
Up next, a striking home in Sydney's Northern Beaches. Next, we head to the northern beaches of Sydney for a coastal home tour with James.
Welcome to North Curl on the northern beaches of Sydney. This stunning coastal location is full of amazing architecture, like this stunning home. What do you think? It's filled with great contrast, beautiful timber tones, and outlooks out over to the ocean. It looks great on the outside, but I can't wait to check it out on the inside too.
James is catching up with Open Home's favourite Paul from Peninsula Homes, who has amazed us every series with his stunning coastal builds. I can't wait to see what he has for us this time.
It's great to walk into,
Fantastic.
Paul. I love this. Crikey.
What's not to love about that, hey?
Mate, it's all about that view, isn't it? I mean, this is an amazing location.
Yeah, hits you straight as you walk in the front door.
I don't know whether I could actually bear living here because I wouldn't want to leave. I just feel like you're on holidays every day of the year. Did the clients have this site or did they go searching for this site?
They had this site for a couple of years, hadn't lived here, but did have the site and had DA-approved plans by a local architect, Archisol. But we actually went back into council with some revisions to those original plans.
This is an amazing location. We are slightly sloping, so it has to be sort of pretty specialised for the site, which is important, but I think it's all about that angle, isn't it? I mean, that's the views. It looks like we almost have 180 views out to the ocean.
We do. We see right up the coast, the golf course at Long Reef, and then you practically feel in the water when you look out that side.
And I can feel that beautiful breeze just flowing through here. I mean, this is a large open plan space, but it feels even larger because of these massive windows.
Yeah, the windows really connect you to the outside, and certainly the bifold doors connect you through to the alfresco and the pool out there. And then that ocean breeze is ever present in this location.
From the outside, when I turned up, the house particularly strikes me the way it sits on the block, but also your use of finishes. You've got that nice contrast between the dark windows and the white walls, but that beautiful use of timber. Talk us through the facade choice.
So the spotted gum came together with the exposed steel and really gave some interest to the home. And we use the spotted gum in locations up under the eaves particularly where it doesn't get exposed to the weather and that ever-present salt air. So it stays looking good and doesn't need that maintenance. Beautiful, isn't it?
I think these homeowners just must never leave this place. They're spoilt for choice. You've got those amazing ocean views out there. You can go for a swim or you can just stay here in your own backyard.
Yeah, it's a permanent holiday.
I wonder, Paul, when you're working with clients, this connection, it's so important in Australian homes between inside and outdoors, especially when you've got a space like this.
Absolutely, and especially on the northern beaches, it's about connecting with the outside, with that environment.
It's a great build, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing all of your advice and this fantastic space with us today.
Well, it's been a pleasure. It's good to have you here.
Well, what can I say? It's an amazing home. Of course, the location is picture perfect, but to create a home like this, it's about creating a relationship with your builder, and they've definitely done that. And I love the fact that this home is so environmentally planned and thought through. There's no air conditioning in there, and yet the temperature is perfect throughout. This has been an absolute pleasure. I think it's time to go for a swim.
Next, we're in the leafy suburb of Camberwell in Melbourne to see a classic Dave Franklin garden.
We're here at a garden I did 6 years ago, and unlike me, this garden has matured unbelievably. Talk about a revisit. This was done 6 years ago, and it's always great to come back and have a look at a job that's really established at the same time. When I rolled up here, I saw their young son, Jack, and he's 19 now. When I did this job, he was 13. Now he's driving, so that's how long ago this job's been done. You've pulled me out of my Bayside bubble today, all right? So basically, this is not your typical Brighton job here. But what people don't realise is that I actually did all my training here in Camberwell. So basically, all the streets here, I've got 1 or 2 jobs that I've done before, and this is where all my classical training come. Well, I'm pro, man. Boom. I remember this design because this was one of the biggest ones that we'd already done. I was fresh starting with Franklin Landscapes as well at the same time. So this was a great job to have. The clients were absolutely amazing, and they let us go do everything with this design. I remember when we first started doing the paving here, and this is when the French pattern first became available at the same time, and we have used the old reds. I think by memory, these were left over from the house, so I'm pretty positive this was around the porch. So we've actually used those and put them in as a band, and as you can see, it creates that great contrast. I suppose the art with this garden is to fit in a traditional garden that suits the house, and that's what we've done. There's so many heroes in this backyard, and I know I say heroes a lot, but I'm not using the term loosely on this one, so let's get out there and have a look. Talk about heroes, water feature behind, pool and spa here, outdoor entertaining area, fireplace there, sunken down areas. May I go on? In situ concrete. Now, this was done 6-7 years ago, so this was before it's become a big fad. So don't want to say we're one of the pioneers there, but yeah, I'm going to throw that in the ring. The best thing about this backyard, we've got everything in this backyard. It's not absolutely huge, but it is zoned off, and that's why I love the different level changes as well. So we have created a fireplace and barbecue area, and we've got the outdoor al fresco as well. Again, my biggest favourite here are these feature posts right behind. So these are 200 by 200 hardwood posts here, sat on there with a Boston ivy that comes out, drapples down over the water. That is amazing. This would be the first one that we ever did a cantilevered post over here. Again, when we got the design on this job, the guys here said, Dave, go for it. And we had to think of things that we could do. So we went for the hardwood screens here. That was probably one of the first ones done back 6-7 years ago. Then we did the hardwood cantilever posts as well. And then the one thing that I do love is the hand-laid pebble on the back wall there as well. One by one, glued in, not laid flat, laid sideways. So glue, bang, flat, do it. Put it this way, my boys were doing their heads in. I think it was about 3 or 4 days, so sitting there, bang, 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 bang. So zone in a bit of Miss Miyagi when you're doing it, but it looks great. I didn't even see the laughing Buddha. I don't know whether it's I'm the laughing Buddha or he's laughing at me. So I'll let him laugh at me. I'm happy. Old school planting here, azaleas, gardenias, arthropodiums, sort of whites and pinks as well. And as I say, Shauna's obviously put some other stuff in. We've also noticed the arum lily. Not a fan of Shauna's, reminds me of White Lady Funerals, but I don't mind it at all. The bear, no, this is a personal choice from Shauna and Anthony. Like any backyard, you need to put your own personality into it. And you know what? I can bear it. Pun, too bad. My favourite part, honestly, is just sitting here and just looking at the garden, how well it's grown. And that's honestly, you can sit up by the fireplace, you can sit anywhere, but, you know, the Boston ivy here really is the hero. So seeing that, you know, with the water feature, again, too many heroes. I can't nail it down to one. The beauty of seeing a garden like this 6 years later, it's at its full prime. And they've actually looked after this, which is great, you know. So this is a garden that I come around and go, well, it's grown in absolutely fantastic. You've zoned off all the areas as well, and they've kept it to, look, I think it looks immaculate.
Up next.
That shape, the gable, that's all about a sense of home. You know, it's the first thing we draw when we're kids, right? So if you see that, you just go, we're home now.
Now we can finally reveal this house in one of Australia's favourite beachside destinations. We're in the heart of Byron Bay today to show you an architecturally designed home with a striking coastal modern facade.
We're catching up with architect Joe Snell, who's going to show us through his latest project, a modern twist on the old weatherboard beach shack.
Well, this is really cool. I love a black and white house. We've got a black and white house, but in reverse. It's always so striking, such a good combination.
I call it a coastal modern look. We've used the linear weatherboard because it's just got really crisp lines. And in this instance, it's all about the fresh white horizontal look. So when you look at this facade, I've actually broken it into 2 segments. One is your classic home gable, and then the other is a box. And they just work together to really bring a bit of charm to the street rather than one big lump. So you've got the white house and then the black windows. Importantly, I wrapped those windows around the corners. So it becomes a negative on the corner and once again reduces the bulk of the building and makes it a much more beautiful architectural piece to the street.
For me, the great thing about this linear weatherboard is it does combine both form and function. You know, we're obviously pretty close to the water here. It's going to be exposed to all those elements, but being an FC product, it's going to stand the test of time, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the key thing about linear is that it is that fibre cement, so it's going to outlast us all. The other thing I like about it is you get really clean lines because of the material it's made of.
I love the shadow lines that this weatherboard creates.
How good is it?
Yeah,
How
it's
good
great.
is it?
I actually love the pitched roof. That, to me, is that sort of your classic take on it?
I mean, that shape, the gable, that's all about a sense of home. You know, it's the first thing we draw when we're kids, right? So if you see that, you just go, we're home now.
Well, I guess if coastal modern was your brief, you've certainly carried that through inside the home.
Yeah, no, well, the key to this space, and it's a lovely big open plan sort of space, is actually the doors.
It is.
So you've got two big panels here that slide right back to get that opening, and then you've got these two as well. So it's just that corner piece, it totally opens up because the real essence of this site is all the trees, the reserve that's out the back, and the idea of having this open plan and bringing that outside in, the cross ventilation and the greenery, bringing that in is key. Instead of putting the pool out the back, which we've got to stop doing that. Instead of putting the pool just out the back, we've actually brought the pool into the house. So whenever you are moving around the house, when you come in the front door, the pool is right in your space and in your life. You know, you've got to see a pool first as art and a landscape, and secondary as a swimming pool.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you know, you only use a pool like 1% of the year, even active people.
Yeah.
So use it first as landscape.
I love nothing more than looking at our pool, and I reckon I get in it, 3 times a year?
If that, yes.
But I love it. And like you say, the pool is the art, but so is that beautiful greenery. So if you can just have a house that completely takes that in, you're halfway there, aren't you?
Absolutely. The body of water in a pool has got a cooling effect, not only in reality of air actually running across it and cooling the house, but just the idea of a pool and the reflection of light off it, it feels cool in your mind. So guess what? You start thinking, oh, I'm not having such a hot day in Byron Bay, where it does get hot. I mean, the key thing when you're creating a coastal home, it's very tempting to just do it all cool, but it's still a home, so you've got to bring in an element of warmth, and we did that here with the timber floors. So we just brought them right through this open plan living. It just sets off the home as a warm place, but then everything else is about a cooling breeze and connection to the outdoors. You also have to think about budget all the time. You know, sometimes I think people get carried away with trying to put a finish everywhere, and the budget just explodes. So one of the ways to get around that is just to understand what your heroes are. So in this room, there's no doubt that the hero is the kitchen. So we have spent some money on the stone there, and then we've got the timber floors. But if you look at the actual room, it's just a plasterboard room, but we did expose the rake of the ceiling. So that's a little bit special, but it's actually not that much more money than if you just did a flat ceiling. So I think it's always about meeting your client's budget, making sure that it's still got wow, but just knowing where to spend your money. I go into so many houses and they've just spent money everywhere. It's almost like you need to know your story so you can find your hero and just go for that.
So what's the difference between, say, a coastal modern home and coastal Hamptons?
So the big difference is obviously Hamptons is a style from the past. So it's a nostalgic idea of architecture, which is fine, but in this instance, you know, this is supposed to be a modern home. So modern is from here forward. Anything where you look backwards is nostalgic. So that's the big difference. And obviously, once you're trying to become a style, then you've got to follow the rules of Hamptons. Where in this, where it's modern coastal, you can just follow those rules, which is, you know, form follows function, no fenestration, in other words, no decoration, just keeping it clean lines, simple, and just creating an amazing lifestyle. Coastal's all about living near the coast and the beautiful weather that comes with that. So the whole house is just about bringing that in.
Well, you've done a spectacular job, and I bet your clients absolutely love living here. It'd be hard not to, and thanks for having us through.
Pleasure, guys. Thank you. Anytime.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
If you would like any of the behind the scenes, including recipes, make sure you check out the Open Homes website and socials.
See you next time.